In this video, we will be discussing the major approaches to individualized instruction. So, before we begin, we have to set up the stage. The major approaches to individualized instruction can be defined through differing inputs of teacher authority, or the amount of control a teacher can exert on the student's learning, and student autonomy, or the amount of control the student can exert on their own learning. Each of the different approaches to individualized learning fall along this relationship in a special combination of each. There is always an inverse relationship between the two. Higher teacher authority leads to lower student autonomy, and higher student autonomy means, well, you guessed it, lower teacher authority. Let's face it, if the student has the ability to decide, that means that the teacher is letting the reins loose. So let's begin. There are 5 distinct approaches to individualized instruction based on the amount of student autonomy and teacher authority. We'll talk about each approach based on the amount of student autonomy exerted on determining the elements, learning objectives, strategies, and assessment. The first on the list is self-directed learning, where determining objectives, strategies, and assessment are all student autonomous. SDL, as it's also called, can be described as a strategy that lets the student think of what they want to learn, how they want to learn it, and how they want to be tested, hence, self-directed learning. The learning contract is another approach similar to SDL. The student has the ability to choose. However, it involves drafting a contract with the supervision of the teacher, which makes the 3 elements, objectives, strategies, and assessment, semi-autonomous to the student. Individual study makes use of the same semi-autonomy as the learning contract. The teacher and the student agree to the objectives and the assessment method. But unlike the learning contract, the teacher gives free rein to the student on how they wish to learn, and so learning strategies are autonomous. The next 2 approaches to individualized instruction are similar to each other in more ways than one. Modules and audio-video tutorials. Both involve determining objectives non-autonomously, and the learning strategy is semi-autonomous to each student. Modules and AV tutorials make use of the prepared learning packages that are prescribed by the teacher. This is what makes the learning objectives non-autonomous. Describing the degree of autonomy for the strategies involved with modules and AV tutorials are different. They are not exactly autonomous because each use a set of prepared lessons in the written or audio-visual formats, respectively. What makes them semi-autonomous is that both approaches allow the student to control the rate on how they learn. They can take it as slow as they want or as fast as they want. They can even repeat it. They differ in assessment, while both are indeed assessments determined by the teacher. With modules, the assessment actually comes as part of the package, along with the answer key, which makes modules semi-autonomous, because they can check their own work, and they have the full trust of the teacher. As we go through the courses, we will be learning about 4 of these 5, self-directed learning, learning contracts, modules, and AV tutorials. I hope you enjoyed the next courses that follow.